All right, welcome back. This is going to be the Golden Beast Awards, which is our best of for 2016. We're going to give our top 5 or top 7 movies and our worst movie of 2016. And we're going to start with Matt. Would you like to give your personal top 5 or top 7 movies of the year?
All right, I'd go number 5 with Doctor Strange. Personally, I like the movie and the way it interacted with the rest of the MCU. Number 4, Moana. Animation was great, as well as it followed the typical Disney storyline and stayed true to its roots as far as background. Number 3, I like Deadpool. It was one of the few R-rated comic book movies that was faithful to his character without modifying it for the casual viewer. Number 2, I like Captain America: Civil War. A lot of the characters were characters you were familiar with before, so you are already emotionally invested, as well as the introduction of Spider-Man, which was also a good thing. Number 1 movie that I liked for this year was Conjuring 2. Plot was good, character development, again, emotional attachment to the characters, because when you felt that a character was going to die, you were really hoping that they would not. So that would be my top 5.
What is your worst movie of the year?
Suicide Squad. Based off all the hype that it got, all this hype about how DC was coming up and all of these characters that first time we're going to see on screen. It was terrible dialogue, absolutely zero chemistry with any of the characters. It seemed like a bunch of clunky characters. Honorable mention for worst movies: Purge, Election Year, Keanu. I'm a big Key and Peele fan. Keanu was absolutely terrible. I have not seen Independence Day: Resurgence.
Oh, that was pretty bad.
But I am going to assume that if I did see it, that it would probably be an honorable mention as well.
He was going by.
Sausage Party would be an honorable mention. It was porn with animated food.
That's funny. Yeah, I saw the movie. I thought it was hilarious.
Hilariously bad.
So next up, we're going to go to Keith. And Keith, what is your top 5 or top 7 for 2016?
My top 5 for 2016. Kubo the Two Strings. Beautiful piece of filmmaking.
I agree.
That was a story that was begging to be told and told well. And they took a fairy tale they dug up somewhere and they just brought it to life. An exceptional story. And I'm saddened to see that it didn't make more money in the box office, but that movie's a classic, period.
I agree.
Captain America: Civil War. That movie was perfect on all levels. If you like comic book movies, that movie is worth its weight in gold. If you like Robert Downey Jr., if you like any of those characters, if you like Marvel cinema, if you like action movies, if you like comedy, if you like anything, phenomenal movie. I thought it would fit perfectly. They took the Civil War story, which I read the comics for the original one, and I mean, it's better than the comic version.
No way.
The comic book version was kind of all over the place, dude. The comic book version ended up being bogged down because they put too many folks in there with, their motivations. I mean, granted, they didn't have a battle royale in the streets of New York, but the airport scene, I can't imagine them doing anything better than that airport scene. Next one is Deadpool. Agree with what Matt said. Like, Ryan Reynolds did a phenomenal job with that. He took the source material and just went with it. If you love what you do and you love the material, you can make anything work. Hacksaw Ridge, Mel Gibson deserves that Golden Globe nod he got. No matter how crazy Mel Gibson is, the man is a phenomenal filmmaker. There's no question about that.
He's a good storyteller. He can tell a great story.
I put The Shallows in there because it was the most surprising movie that I thought would be good. Completely surprised that The Shallow was as good as it was. I didn't think I was going to like it too much.
What is that about?
It's about like the one where Blake Lively is stuck on the beach or in the water with a great white. She's injured. She can't swim fast enough in order to get away from it. So she's kind of have to use her own ingenuity to get away from it.
What is your worst movie of 2016?
Bit of a contest between what's the worst, and there are 3 movies that are kind of vying for the worst pieces of shit that I've ever had the unfortunate titles to look at. I would say Suicide Squad was the most disappointing mess. That actually made me want to cry. But, I just left the theater and just like swallowed my anger and hatred and saved it for the podcast. So if you know more about that, listen to the podcast. The other one that I dislike that's kind of vying for dominance of worst movie would be Independence Day: Resurgence. To this day, it has taken me 3 attempts to watch that movie and to sit through it and watch it. To date, I've tried 3 times. That movie was terrible, and Will Smith dodged a bullet. I don't think anybody could have saved that mess.
And what is the other one?
Oh yes, yes, the Magnificent Blair Witch. Blair Witch, it goes up there with Independence Day Resurgence. In fact, I think Independence Day Resurgence might have been worse than Blair Witch. I
Hold
actually
on,
sat
hold
through
on,
it.
hold on. What was your worst again? I'm sorry.
I'd have to say Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh Lord. Okay.
I can't get through it. I could at least sit through and watch Blair Witch, but the ridiculousness of it all, I mean, I could like sit through it. This Independence Day Resurgence, I was just like, God help me. Barry, I don't know how you sat through it, man. You got like nerves of steel or something, dude. That movie's terrible.
James, what is your top 5 or top 7 for the year?
I'm gonna go with Captain America: Civil War. It seems like we're kind of unanimous on that so far. This movie was an overall great story, especially for a comic book. They did a good job of trying to adapt a story that was so broad in the comic book world to the big screen. It was so much, like he was saying, I agree with him. There was so much going on in the comic, and to condense it, that was a testament all by itself. And of course, they changed some things up, but it worked. You get to see Spider-Man and Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
Black
that right there was just amazing, and it just got me hyped for like Spider-Man's movie and Black Panther's movie when it comes out. Deadpool as well. They stuck true to the character. They did not hold anything back when it came to Deadpool. They did a great job. Ryan Reynolds did a great job. You could tell that he enjoyed playing the character, and he'd been trying to play the character for years. And the fun thing about this movie, he made fun of himself, and that's what made it so unique. He made fun of himself, like when he was just talking about the Green Lantern, like that flop of a movie. It just made the movie fun as a whole. The action was pretty decent, and I enjoyed it. Train to Busan. I just saw this movie probably about a week ago. This is perhaps one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen. South Korean horror movie, zombie movie. Because usually zombie movies especially have some type of like social commentary with it. This does as well. Partially dramatic as well. I mean, it had a lot of deepness to it. It kind of reminded me of a George Romero zombie film, which to me, he puts out the best zombie films that has a deeper meaning than what is expected. I can't express how much I love this movie. Conjuring 2, one of the best horror movies I've seen this year as well. I was attached to the characters. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the way it was filmed. There was nothing really wrong with this movie in my eyes. It seemed like this is just the start of a great horror franchise, or not a start, but a continuation of a horror franchise. And then my number one movie out of my top 5 will be Don't Breathe. I enjoyed Don't Breathe. I enjoyed the twist. I enjoyed the acting was not, it was okay, but you really didn't have to do much. The suspense factor in this movie to me was off the charts. The twist was great. It was a well shot movie. The atmosphere was great, especially when you have a movie that's set in one setting. It's hard to do it well, and I believe they did a great job. But the worst movie I've seen this year,
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Blair fucking Witch. This is perhaps one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen that made it to the big screen. There's no redeeming qualities to this movie. And Keith, you made me apologize to you for that movie. No, I mean, you didn't say apologize to me. I felt obligated to apologize to you for how bad that movie was. And I'm apologize again. I'm sorry, Keith. There's another bad movie. Lights the fuck out.
That dude, like, I have to say, I was entertained when I went to the movie. So,
To Lights Out?
yeah.
Only part that was entertaining about the movie was the clothesline in the dark. That was it. That was it. Everything else was just suspect.
All right, guys, let me go ahead and do mine. So one of my movies is going to be 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Ugh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I could see not that. Like, okay, go ahead.
All
It
right.
was a pretty good movie.
I like the opening. It was a very artistic choice. The standout performances from all 3 of the main characters. And it's a very focused and well-directed movie. So the next one is going to be The Jungle Book.
Okay, I agree.
So it has Neil Sethi, Bill Murray, Idris Elba. They are all great. Neil Sethi was Mowgli, and that's really his first time having a major role. The animation is top-notch. The movie knows what it wants to be.
I like it. Good job.
My next movie, to reiterate Keith, is Kubo and the Two Strings. The story,
That
the
was
setting, the animation, and acting are what does that for me. It's a great movie.
How many times have you watched it?
Probably 3 times.
I've watched it about 3-4 times myself.
Yeah, I actually have it on my list once you guys started talking about it.
Nice, good job.
All right. So the next movie is going to be Moana. So Zoe Carvalho as the lead character. It's her first major role. She nails it. The lore is very well done, and the music complements the story and the characters. My next movie is going to be The Shallows. For the better part of the movie, this is a one-person performance. And that is the most difficult thing to do in acting, is to act against yourself. So the acting is strong with what little characters are in that, aside from Blake Lively. So the concept has been done before, but this has great execution. My next movie is going to be Swiss Army Man. It sets up his atmosphere well, and then it goes bonkers. When you think something is happening with the ending, and you think it's going to be straightforward, it goes off in another direction. It's a great movie. So my last movie, it's going to be the highest rated movie I have given all year. That is Hacksaw Ridge.
Well done.
Andrew Garfield acting is superb. The cinematography is on point, and the action is phenomenal. Go Mel Gibson. All right, so I do have some runner-ups. So my runner-ups are going to be Deepwater Horizon, Don't Breathe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Captain America Civil War, Deadpool, and Hunt for the Wilder People, which I doubt is Hunt for the Wilder People, which I doubt anyone has seen.
What's it called?
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Okay.
It is a New Zealand movie about a foster child. And that's all I'm going to say because the movie goes off in this weird, crazy direction. So worst movies. The first movie is going to be Independence Day Resurgence. Someone decided that 20 years after the first movie, this movie should be made. And as much as I don't like Will Smith, congratulations to you for stepping away from this movie. The next movie is The Girl on the Train. And the next movie is going to be The Accountant. That was a terrible movie. And the last movie, my worst movie for 2016, Assassin's Creed. You can laugh all you want.
I'm not even going to comment, man. Just going to let it go.
You can laugh all you want.
It does not get a 0.
But this movie, as I put it before,
No.
is an abomination.
That's
It's
an abomination.
It's an
That's
abomination.
your worst movie?
It is the worst movie I've seen in several years. And
Worse than
Independence Day Resurgence.
It is worse than Independence Day Resurgence. I gave
Worse than Independence Day. What did you score Independence Day?
I gave Independence Day Resurgence a 3.
Hold on, that doesn't make sense.
I gave Girl on the Train a 2. That makes sense. And that's the Beast Game Podcast. You can find more of our podcasts at beastgame.com, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Twitter, and YouTube.
You kill me every time you do that shit. You'll say something like talking about booger bears, and then be like, in your calm voice, this has been a Beast Game Podcast. You kill me every damn time.
Cause we're taking over, and nobody like us, we say we're taking over, and nobody like us, man, yeah, we're going to the top. Look at me now, I'm way over the mountain. Look at me now, flying over to the top. Look at me now, I'm way over the mountains. Look at me now, they said I couldn't make it. Cause we're taking over, and nobody like us, we say we're taking over, and nobody like us, man, yeah, we're going to the top.
The Beast Gang Podcast. We're taking over.